FBHL Podcast. It's been a while since the first one. It's been about almost 2 months now. We just wanted to wait for the season to start. That way we could have more to talk about. We're here with my co-partner Evan Kalinsky and a special guest tonight, Travis Roach. Travis, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good. So,
Just want to say happy. Just want to say happy weed day to everybody. It's legalized in Canada now, so to all you Canadians, hope you guys had a good day.
oh yeah, for sure. I know most of us did. I think no, it's been an interesting week to start off for the FBHL, I believe. A couple teams coming in surprise. Definitely, no, I think the last podcast we had made was our predictions and what we thought and who we thought were going to be on the top of the leaderboards. We're only 4 games into the season, but I think it still shows what teams are going to be strong and what teams are going to need to work on gelling a little bit more, getting used to playing, and uh, certainly being able to compete with the other teams, which I think most teams are now really competitive than they were before. Then, from like I remember last season, there's a couple teams didn't feel that competitive playing, but now I feel all teams that are playing as of now are really competitive. Um, Props to
Well,
Shane
yeah, I can
Helmore,
agree with that because
and
I can
it's
agree with that
yeah,
because Shane has brought a lot of help to help him out, make the league more competitive. So it's just better for everybody to have a competitive league to play in because I know a lot of guys don't want to play in a league where they're getting roasted every night, and it's just no fun for everybody. So getting more competitive guys in from different leagues like LG and VG and all that stuff, like bringing them in, especially helped, and the whole redraft really helped as well. So
for
it's good to
sure.
see that the league is being more competitive because it just helps with closer and tighter games. I mean, I know myself, I like playing in a lot of close and tight games. It just makes the game more fun to play in, and I'm a competitive guy, so I love playing in those tight games myself. So
Yeah, for sure. I think most of us like that competitive feel. A lot of us go to play LG for that, but a lot of people um, stay in this league too because they know it's a league that they can have fun and not really have to take things so seriously. Um, it's a good family league in my opinion. We're all really open with each other. I think we're all just here to have fun, and we all respect that about each other. But no, so tonight I think we're gonna talk about surprises and some of the off-season moves that were made. Um, so I think we are going to start with. Where do you want to start, Evan? Do you there's lots to
Well, we've talked about doing our second one. I know we've talked about those moves, so I think going into some of the moves this off season that have happened recently, even
yeah,
would be a good place to start.
yeah, for sure.
Not necessarily like the guys like getting called up, sent down, or anything, unless there's like a big surprise there I missed that you guys saw. Uh, but there were a couple trades.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's it's been a handful of
there's
trades.
been a whirlwind of trades these past few days. Yeah, it's kind of really caught me off guard at how many trades have been done so early in the season. I mean, there are only 4 games in, and people are being dealt like crazy. I mean, you can't really tell after 4 games what a person's going to be like after a whole season of
Oh,
two
for
like
sure.
2 months or whatever it's like. But yeah, it's just really kind of a whirlwind. Been like a couple of days, like it's crazy.
So one team that has certainly caught me by surprise. I can't really say by surprise. I think I knew this team was gonna be um a good competitive team, but they're really racking up the points, and that's Buffalo. Buffalo's got a good line rolling. Former Leafs
Well, yeah,
line
they
here
made some
with
big off-season. They made some big off-season moves there with Wyatt Genoway going over there and Steve Tavares going over there too. The whole
with
top line,
Diago
Toronto
and
going over there.
Hassan as well. That line
Hassan,
is
yeah.
doing very good. Hassan and Steve right now.
Trade for Helm Deep also.
Yes, they did. Yep.
I feel like there was definitely they moved Pierre
Yeah. Pogo. And all that was. I think that was a good move for them. They certainly are. It's definitely showing on. Yeah. No. I think once Pogo finds a good place, then I think he'll start putting up a lot of points. He's a good player. For sure. I mean, but yeah, Hassan and Steve are 14 points in 2 games as of right now. They're really they're certainly putting up points, and I think that's really good for Buffalo. It shows that they can be really competitive as well as have a lot of fun. No, definitely not.
I know they were competitive somewhat last season as well. So I mean, that's probably what they need.
I know they made the playoffs. I don't remember how far they made it, but I'm pretty sure they finished second in their division.
That's what they need to get over the edge. They need to.
They were just behind Montreal, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Montreal too. They're doing well this season after losing.
I know they brought in the not too good with French names here, but they brought in the Harpoon brothers and Marc-Andre Fleury in the offseason.
Yeah, it's definitely a great acquirement for Montreal. They've definitely improved. After losing a player like Street Smurf, you got to fill that gap, and I think they certainly did, if not done a better job.
They've also brought in Ty Graz there from Vegas. He was the GM there in Vegas last season.
Oh
He
yeah,
is
that's right.
He is a good shutdown defenseman when he's on his game. He has started playing LG and stuff past couple seasons, so his game has improved. So that's a big bolster for their blue line for sure. That they probably needed to get themselves over the bump too to get into the Stanley Cup final there for season 6 here.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, they're Montreal's definitely upgraded well. The Eastern Conference itself has just become more of a powerhouse. It was really lopsided last season, where the West was pretty much in charge of the league, and now it's I think it's really evened out. You go look at the West now. West is. I noticed Dallas 2 losses on the season. I think they were forfeits though. No, it's I'm excited to see what Dallas has this season. As they're Stanley Cup champions. They're definitely a good team. They know what they're doing, and it's gonna be interesting to see where they end up this year with all the new competitive teams. Seattle as well, upgrading a bunch, grabbing Jasano in the draft, which was a great pickup for them. He's a great forward. Really controls the game. He's one of those players that are hard to come by. So yeah, for sure. Him and they got a lot of good players like that. Jeremy Poirier. No, it's gonna be a tough team to play against. That division is still tight with especially Winnipeg as well. They're definitely gonna be a team to beat, as they picked up Clutch in the draft. He's a very fast player. Plays the puck well. Likes to have control of the puck. He's very good with the puck. He was definitely hard to play against. I played against him the other night. It was a close game with them. He's a very very game controlling player. I think that division though it's really staying where it was last season, and I think
I mean, they stay where they are at that high competitive level in that Eastern Conference, like we were saying earlier. They're starting to build up and have some teams of equal or better talent than those top dogs of the West last season. It's just going to make the league more competitive in general, especially come time for the Stanley Cup.
oh yeah for sure. St. Louis
especially
has
since
gotten
last season.
St.
Especially since
Louis.
last season,
Yeah.
that Central Division that I was a part of as Colorado Avalanche GM, it was just overwhelming the amount of talent in that Central Division alone. I mean, you have Dallas with all their LG NHL players, and Winnipeg, and then us. It was just overwhelming the amount of talent they have, and like how competitive that division was alone.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely a division. It was definitely hard to play against. But no, St. Louis too. They've really picked up where they left off last season. Um, it was sad to see them miss out on the playoffs. They
Had 100 points since then.
I think about 100 or 99.
Like 100 or one. No, I think I definitely remember that one of them was telling me that like they were really upset because they're like we had 100 points, they missed the playoffs, but it was again that Western Conference is where most of the talent in the league was.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and plus them being in the Central Division, like I was talking about. I mean, it's just so much talent in that Central
Had
Division
most of the
alone.
Western talent.
Yeah, so it was just hard for them.
Kind of bad luck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just hard for them to even like think about making the playoffs because, like I said, you had Colorado and then Winnipeg and Dallas last season.
That's another big thing that like kind of helped bring talent over to the East was Colorado moved over to Columbus.
Yeah, I was the new owner that took over Columbus is Dylan Hebbers. Dylan DeLorme stepped down, and Dylan Hebbers took control of Columbus and kept me on as GM. And I think it's gonna be a benefit for us in the long run. I
I
mean,
think it'll also
I
give
didn't
the
really want to.
Eastern Conference and the Western Conference because it'll give some of those teams that probably should have made the playoffs last year having one of those top dogs move to the East help their competition out there. It'll also
Yeah,
give another team that probably deserves to be in the playoffs. And then kind of
it
like
was
if
a
you put St. Louis in, or if you make that switch last season, St. Louis makes that playoffs, it helps them out. Helps kind of balance out the conferences in general.
For
it was
sure.
a tough choice for sure to leave the Colorado franchise that Dylan DeLorme worked so hard like to build. I mean, we were only there for one season. Us coming over from Tampa and stuff, and in season four, and then season five we built Colorado. But it was just it just benefits our game thinking we can get over that hump into just even making even the Stanley Cup final there, being in Columbus. I mean, there is a lot of talent coming over from that west into the east. Some players that via trade and stuff like that. But I mean, it helps us in the long run, I believe, because uh, it'd be Montreal and then now Buffalo and us for like a top team in the East.
Definitely kind of like their own three-headed dragon out there in the East now. With that.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's going to be the top three teams that are going to be those. I mean, there's going to be some surprises too and stuff like that for sure. But as of right now, I believe just looking at the standings and stuff right now, that's going to be what it's looking like. I know. Ottawa's up there right now, 4-0. I didn't really know what to expect
What
from
was
them.
the other game that Zeus quit? Is that true?
No, actually, it's not. Found out earlier today that he was still playing.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
Yeah, I heard
it's
that he
good to
was only
see.
limited.
Yeah, it was pretty surprising when I heard it.
No, it's definitely good to see that he's still playing. Um,
That's good.
Definitely helps out the team a lot.
It's good for the Ottawa team.
Yeah.
He's a really talented forward, so I mean, Ottawa losing him would have been a big downgrade for them. So hopefully, him staying there, playing a couple games a week, will help them be one of the top teams in the East for sure. Because I know being in Colorado last season in the playoffs, the playoff run that we had, we played them in the second round, won 7 games with them. They were a
Yeah.
tough team to play, but the top line of them and Naughty Outlaw and Brad Fairland, it was just a tough line to play against for a 7 game series. But hopefully,
Where there's a good bit of depth on that team.
yeah, hopefully having him back there, if he continues to play, it'll help them maybe compete with us and Montreal and Buffalo in the East for a #1 spot in the East.
It's definitely going to be a tight conference. But I think, it's hard to say who's going to come out on top, as, again, we're only 4 games into the season. But it's really showing the strengths right now and what teams are going to be up there. The New Jersey Devils are.
There is a lot of depth that's come over in the East in the past. Like they did a new draft there, and then I mean just via trades and stuff like that. It's just crazy how much talent that's in the league now in the East. I mean with the Columbus team that Ethan and I are on. I mean we traded for Ethan in the off season, but losing a guy like Matthew, who was a big part of the Colorado team last season. Losing him is a loss for us, but picking up a guy like Ethan, who's been in this league for countless seasons and stuff, it's it's an upgrade for us as well. I think it'll help us in the long run, but we also drafted what we needed, and I'm sure every team's drafted what they needed to kind of help them get over the bump as well. But I believe from a point where I'm the GM of Columbus, that what we needed. I'm not going to say what we needed because I don't want to give any hints away for what was our weakness, but what we drafted well and kind of bolstered what we needed. And right now we're sitting at 4-0. We're looking pretty good going into the rest of week 1 here. And yeah, I've seen the draft picks that people did this year, and I can say there's some talent that's come over from LG that I haven't seen or didn't think what I would see in the FB, because a lot of people in LG talk a lot of crap about FB, how it's like one of the worst leagues to play in. But I mean, I don't think that's true. I think it's getting up there and it's growing, and with all the new talent from LG coming over and the talent that's been in here from LG in past seasons, it's going to help for sure.
Oh yeah, no, I 100% agree. I do believe this league is really underrated. It's definitely one of these leagues that you don't want to take advantage of. It's a good group of guys, and if you're just looking to have fun, this is definitely the league. This it's very good
fun,
for.
but it is for fun too. But it's good. It's a good league to play with your guys, like your guys that you want to play on a team with and stuff like that. But it's also a competitive league too. I mean, there's guys out there that want to have fun but want to be competitive. So I mean, that's a good way to like get away from the LG games and the VG games that I mean are like really high competitive games, and go to FB, which is a fun competitive league.
Yeah, no.
You get the opportunity where you can get on the same team as your friends, and to be honest, it is easier to do than in leagues like LG or PG or whatever. But it's still like it's not like you can just say I'm going to be on a team with this guy and it happens. It's something that you gotta make happen. But
Well, that's the way it used to be. Like a few seasons ago, that's the way the FB was, and that's why That's why people talk so much crap about it, is because you could just sign up for it and you could pick whatever team you want to go on. So I mean, with Shane stepping up and bringing people in to help him out to kind of make the league better, to do a whole redraft and make sure that it's not as easy for people to come into the league and be like, oh, I want to play on this team just because
and then quit
this
if they don't
person's
like
on
it.
it, and yeah, exactly, then quit the team because they're not playing with their buddies, and or play the game, play on a team, and just throw games or whatever. I mean, you don't want that. So
No, definitely not. It's I'm really looking forward to this season. I think many of us are. As mentioning earlier, St. Louis, picking up where they left off. I think the other night Dobson had 5 goals. Um, Dobby's. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the league. He's definitely a great player. Playing with Lemmy. He's. I think those two players, they're amazing players.
Definitely.
Um, being old line mates with both of them on various teams, Dallas and Winnipeg. We we were really we became really close. Uh, Besides just playing the game, we've always been really close, and we really built that friendship chemistry. And I think that's really what's most important on having a good team is building that friendship chemistry and having the good morale on the team. It really helps out, and having Craig Dobson and Lemmy on your team, they're both very friendly, and in my opinion, that's also one of my reasons why they're very underrated. Um, just being friendly and being open, being good guys, definitely helps out. They're always looking to improve on themselves, looking to help their teammates. I think that's exactly what you would want in a player. Jason Langretter's definitely lucky to have those guys on his team.
Yeah. We get both, like, they're just, I don't know. I really like both of them.
Yeah, they've always been really good to me, and as I'm sure you haven't.
Yeah.
No, they're
My Chicago team back in season 1 signed Levy as a free agent. We were kind of on the fence about it. That's one of the things I'm, like, really glad I did.
yeah, that's a big throwback. Season 1 of Facebook.
Yeah.
This league's definitely grown a lot, and it's definitely gotten a lot
Yeah,
better.
we had 6 teams, and everyone made the playoffs, so, and we just did, like, a round-robin tournament playoff. So pretty much our entire season games didn't really mean anything.
Yeah,
It was just all practice for a round-robin tournament, really.
yeah, that's
Now what? There's guys being thrown on AHL training camps.
yeah, that's
I remember when I first came into the league, I was playing AHL with the Toronto Marlies in season 3, I think it was. Uh,
Was that the
Esco,
season they rushed the AHL to an end because they kind of started it a little early? But
I believe so. Yeah, season 3. There was only like 6 or 7 AHL teams. Yeah, I uh,
yeah,
I got
we
picked up
I don't
there.
even think we had a full NHL then.
No, there was no full NHL in that time either. There was only, I think, about 15, 16 NHL teams, and there was only like 7 AHL teams. And I got picked up by Esco. I'm thankful for Esco for showing me this league, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't actually probably be playing it until that last 2 seasons or whatever, because I wasn't really big into EA Sports Hockey League like competitively until then. So I just want to thank a shout out to Esco for that. But I mean, it's grown since then, from going from, like I said, like 14, 15, 16 teams in season 3 to a whole the whole league, like every NHL team being in here now, and then every AHL team being in here now. It's
yeah,
just grown. so much over the past 3 seasons.
They might have done the FBHL teams next year.
It'd definitely be fun to see. But yeah, no, I agree with Roach. Jesko's definitely he's been a part of this league for a while. Very humble guy. Yeah, very very dedicated. Um, he lives in Europe, so his time zones when he plays are 3 in the morning, and he'll get up and he'll play those games. He's very dedicated to the league, and I think it's great to see. It's really great to see.
High energy too. Like most guys, like if one of us had to do that, I'm sure we're not too upset to admit that 3 in the morning we would not be energetic. We would
Right.
be there. He's so happy.
He's always looking for people to play with. He's a very nice guy.
The amount of Red Bull, that guy drinks, he should probably get him to sponsor FBHL. The amount of Red Bull that guy drinks on a nightly basis, just so he can get up at 3 a.m. to play those games.
Yeah,
And
he's
then going to work the next morning at 7 for work. It's just, the guy is dedicated. This guy just breathes the FBHL because, like you said, he gets up at 3 a.m. to play games with us guys that are playing at like 9, 10 o'clock at night. So it's crazy.
He's also played a role in getting a lot of guys into the league, like we were saying earlier in the queue. He's got a bunch of others, and even if he didn't get them into the league, he's played like a big role with their experience in the league.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like I said, I came into this league in the AHL in season 3, eight AHL teams. We ended up winning the Calder Cup that season. Me being on the line with, that's how I met Dylan DeLorme there. And not only is this league for friends, but you do make friends in the long run, playing on teams and stuff. So you make friends for, if you have a life like almost like a lifelong long friends playing on PlayStation stuff like that. So
Yeah,
you might
for
not
sure.
get to meet most of them. You might not get to meet most of them face to face, but just talking to them on a nightly basis, playing NHL and stuff like that, you get to know a lot about them and stuff. So it's a good way that way. That's why I like the league.
Yeah, for sure. I couldn't agree more. It's definitely by far, I think this league is my favorite league out of all the leagues I've played in. Just the friendships that you build, really shows. You really get to know the person instead of just seeing their game tag. You really get a feel for who they are, and it builds great friendships.
I don't have many friends from like LT or BG that like I enjoy sitting there talking to like outside of league games. That's something about like FB where like you actually know the person's name, you're messaging them on Facebook, you find out if they're on. It's just kind of like you actually feel a lot closer to them.
Yeah, for sure. Couldn't agree more. I mean, you look at this podcast. Two guys who are running it right now, Evan and I. Um, we wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for Facebook. Really, we
Briefly from PAVHL, but then we talked
oh boy, yeah,
another throwback community.
the PAVHL. If any of you guys remember that league, you guys are OG. Also, I'm sorry you guys had to play in that league. But no, it's definitely that's where I met Evan, and we came back and we started doing stuff like this for the stuff like this for the FBHL. We're pretty dedicated to the league as well, just showing our love for it, our appreciation to. It will be back on track now that the season started and we have more to talk about. I think these guys are quitting. But no, we really appreciate Shay Normore and Steve Tavares and everybody who's running the league. Again, this is the first week, so there really isn't a whole lot to talk about, but we're just
Another team I want to kind of talk about too is the Washington Capitals. This
yeah,
season.
for sure.
The Anaheim, they were They were the Anaheim Ducks last season. I'm coming over from the West. Like we were talking about earlier. There's so much talent that comes over from the West. Like they switched over as well. Uh, Marsh over there and Tim Murphy, them bringing over Washington Capitals. Uh, they were a strong team as it is in the West and the Pacific Division. Another team that missed the playoffs, I believe, by not too many points. They did have over 100 points. So, I mean, like we were talking about, how they have such a strong West. Like we were talking about, they just missed an opportunity to get in because of Dallas, Colorado, Winnipeg, Seattle, like all those strong teams like that. Just there's so many 100-point teams in the West. It just sucked to see that so many good teams that missed the playoffs like that. I mean, they were back. They were quarterbacked by Doc Marshmallow there uh, on goalie, keeping them in games night in and night out and stuff like that.
Oh, he's
Uh,
definitely a tough goalie to play against.
he's an elite goalie in this league, and every time I play against him, I always have a hard time scoring against him. He knows
Yeah,
how
for sure. Me too.
to shut me down for sure. And yeah, them being in the West, especially in the same division as us in the Metro, it's gonna be a tough 4 or 5 games we play against them in the season. But uh, like I said, competitive games is what this league's grown into and what I enjoy. So
Yeah,
it's gonna
for
be
sure.
fun for sure. So good luck to you, Marsh, there in the Washington Capitals on the season. Look forward to playing you guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. We're in the same division as them, so I have a couple Friday night games. Definitely looking
Yeah,
forward to it.
back to backs. If we play back to back games on Fridays, that's going to be a hectic Friday night series for sure. Because it's going to be there's going to be a lot of good defense, a lot of good forwards playing in that game, and some top notch goalies.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, no. We're nearing the end here. If there's anything else we want to bring up before we close this off.
Uh, One thing I kind of want to get some predictions from you too.
For sure.
Top
Yeah,
three,
definitely do these again.
top three. I know it's only 4 games in, like we were talking
Yeah,
about, but
but
um,
a lot has happened since we
yeah, it's
did these predictions, and
top three teams you've seen so far in 4 games, and like the top sleepers you've noticed, like top teams that you think have improved and have shown so far, and then like the bottom teams that you thought were going to do well but are kind of sleeping right now in each division of the 4 divisions.
All right. Yeah, for sure. I think here we'll start in the Pacific Division. So sitting at first place right now is the Edmonton Oilers with 3 wins and 1 loss. I
They
think
do have a good team. If B Cray's back playing full
yep,
time, then they're a team
BK.
to watch out for sure.
he is. I remember I was on the Oilers with them last season near the end, and I know he left because he went to go to training for the Canadian Air Force. But he said that was gonna be like 3 months because I remember he was at first talking about coming back to LG with his band there, and so I do know he's back, which is big for them.
Yeah, for sure. No, the Vancouver Canucks are 2 wins and 0 loss right now. It shows on the page right now that
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
I don't know how their third and fourth game went. Um, but that's definitely a huge turnaround for them. Curtis Mason, props to him, really turning his team around. He took the couple seasons to rebuild this team, and they're looking really good. I really hope to see them go far this season. Um,
Yeah, I played a couple of games against them, like scrimmages or just like randomly in the Sixers lobbies and stuff like that. And I mean, I underestimated them. I'll say that myself. I underestimated them going into those games because of playing like them being in Minnesota last year, where they weren't as good as I thought they would be. Them switching over to Vancouver and stuff like that. I mean, I wasn't expecting much, but them playing scrimmages against them, and then the Sixes games and stuff like that. It was just like going from 0 to 100. I mean, a bunch of the improvements they've made. I mean, they've done a good job over there. I mean, like it says they're 2-0 right now. Don't know how their third and fourth game went, but I'm sure they'll be a top team in the Pacific if they keep playing like that.
Sure, they made a trade right just before the week that brought in James Bogo and his goalie. I don't remember who they brought in. I think it was Stevie Brown.
Yeah, that's seen yourself go to LA there in a trade.
It was me and Chris McKenzie for the two of them, and I think both teams got what they were looking for out of that deal. And
It's a big step
we're
for
waiting
them.
to see
It's a big step for them as well because Bobo there, he's an elite defenseman. He is an elite defenseman. He plays in the LGHL there, so I mean that tells you about his game itself, playing in the top of the LG bracket. So I mean, them getting that really bolsters their defense.
they did trade Chris McKenzie for him. When he is available, is a really key piece. He's a pretty good offensive defenseman.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
playing against him the other night.
Defensively, but still puts up a good amount of points for a defenseman. I know right now he's got a game and 2 points with a goal and an assist.
Yeah, no, playing against him the other night, it was definitely hard to get around him. He was very shut down, very good at controlling the puck. Yeah, no. I
Their
think
team, I think, has improved so far. That's really caught my eye is St. Louis.
yeah,
Talking about them earlier, but they're 2-0 right now. It's not updated to their four games right now, but St. Louis, like we were talking about earlier, I mean, they've done a lot of key things to make themselves better. I think they'll be on top of. I guess they're not in the Pacific, but they're in the Metro. But uh, I guess Pacific wise, I would say LA. LA is probably going to be one of the top teams in the Pacific this year by the look of it. They've got
yeah. I think them and Edmonton for sure. I think I'm gonna put Edmonton above LA. That's just because their offense really peaks. They got a lot of good depth.
The only thing that might come back and hit them hard is, at least from my perspective, they do seem forward heavy,
Yeah,
where they are going to win a lot of games without a doubt. But I think what's going to end up kicking them the ass near the end of the season is going to be those games that they're winning or games that are like 7-6,
yeah.
where they're just kind of shootouts who gets the last goal.
Oh, for sure. We'll move on now to the oh my gosh, the Central Division. I was drawing a blank. Yeah, no. Again,
There,
it's gonna be
it's going to
it's gonna be really tough to say who's going first. Just with Dallas, Winnipeg, Seattle, St. Louis, Chicago's looking good. It's really hard to say. I think definitely if I'm gonna say anything, I don't know. I think it's my guess. I want to say either Winnipeg or Dallas, but I mean I could also be very wrong. St. Louis could get up there. Seattle, easily. It's kind of hard to predict right now. I don't want any teams to take offense to that. You guys could all be number one.
We're kind of just going off of like how we know these teams performed last season,
Right.
what we've seen so far this season, and like where there's new talent in this league on some of these other teams that we haven't seen. So
Yeah, for sure.
it could surprise us.
yeah, exactly.
Now we're gonna head over to the East. We're gonna hit the Metropolitan. I'm gonna try and be unbiased as possible, being on Columbus. I do believe we have a good team. As do as do the Devils though, and the Hurricanes. I think those are gonna be the top three teams in the Metro. In my opinion, with New Jersey getting taken over now by
We played New Jersey there in the preseason.
Preseason, yeah. They beat us in the preseason.
I do not. I
No,
have
I
not
don't.
seen.
They only have 3 games, and as you said, with the other teams lower in there. Trying to think. Oh, Pittsburgh called up Dr. Bryant.
I did see that.
Oh, that's good. He's a great goalie. No, Jared Miller taking over New Jersey now. Definitely, they're a tough team to play against. I believe he was. I think Sarsha might have been a GM at one point. I don't know if he still is or not.
Yeah, I thought for some reason I thought Sarsha was the owner. What happened to him?
Yeah, no, Sarsha right now with 11 points in 2 games. That's he's playing well. He's got a good line there. Who else is yeah?
I don't. And you're talking about trying not to be as biased as possible, but we gotta talk about the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yeah, for sure.
They're 4-1 right now. 2 really strong lines.
Yeah, you get myself there playing on a line with Dylan DeLon and Scanny Boy and with Justin, like I say there, and Dylan DeLon.
Super freak over with Fergie and Tyler Silva.
Tyler
Yep.
Silva. Yeah.
Really good.
We do have a good top 6 core there that's been together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good old Zimmy. My bad.
Top 6. The top 6 forward core that we have now has been together for 2 seasons. Adding the addition to Ethan there, so it's definitely going to help out, balance out our lines for sure. With us having a couple big games earlier in the week there, we played Winnipeg in game 2 of the season, and then played Toronto on Tuesday night there. It's been some tough games in LA. Like the first 3 of the first 4 games we played have been really against tough opponents. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from the Tampa Bay Lightning. They did play a good game, but we just you could tell we were just too much for them, and I hope they do improve over the course of the season. I think they will improve and hopefully into a playoff spot, but
If not, hopefully they can get enough pieces, come back next season if things go.
yeah, them coming over as well. I think they were in Chicago last year. I think
They were.
Shannon Ball there was in charge of the Chicago Blackhawks there.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I didn't recognize any of the guys I played against against Tampa Bay there in the season opener, but it's just a big game for the Columbus Blue Jackets. I mean, I was playing on a line with Tyler Heiselven and Scanny Boy there in the first game, and just the chemistry we had just wasn't.
Yep,
They
for
couldn't
sure.
compete with it, and a lot of us had 4 or 5 point games, and myself I had 7. But I mean, it's nothing to say that it's going to be a pushover for sure. But yeah, the Columbus Blue Jackets. I mean, we have a top 6 forward core that's been together 2 seasons, and most of the returning defensemen like Zimmy there and James Guerrero, who's recently stepped up and played LGAHL this season. I mean, he's stepped up his game in the past year or two, and we lost a defenseman there who just didn't have time for the league. Jared LaValle, he was huge for us last season. We were hoping to get him back, but it didn't pan out that way. And uh, yeah,
Yeah.
we mostly kept most of the core together that we thought we could win with. Kept our goalies, Corey Beresford there, and Robert. I can't pronounce his last name. I'm just gonna call him Cuddy because that's what we call him in our group chat there. But um, yeah, but I didn't want to like kind of deface his last name. I didn't want to kind of ruin it, but um,
I have a lot of fun doing it.
it's
Go
we had a
Cuddy.
good we had a good core goalie core there in Colorado last season. We brought them back because we could count on them game in and game out. They stood in their head. Each had over 20 wins last season, so it's big for us to have them back for sure. But uh, yeah, I think we'll go a long way. But I'm not gonna say we're gonna win the cup because I mean there's a lot of tough teams out there that will. Yeah, and it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough league to play in this season, and but yeah, Austin, New Jersey, and what was the other team you said, Ethan? Uh, Austin, New
Carolina. They
Jersey,
got
Carolina,
Mugford and
B.
Mugford
Dunny, and all them.
frozen. Yeah, Kendall Knox.
Alex Budden,
Yeah.
B. Dunny.
Yeah.
I mean, they all came over from Arizona, so I mean, they were good. That's another team that was in the race for the playoffs in the West last season. They just missed out too. So, or if I think they might have made it, but um, they played Dallas in the first round, maybe. I'm not sure how, but
It was definitely like not necessarily a matchup, but a team with that many points than the team you probably have. But it'll be interesting to see how they do now.
yeah, the
Oh yeah,
Metro's
for
going to be
sure.
a tough race for sure. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a good season for each of the divisions. Going to, I'd say, because how tight the Central was last season, I think that's going to be league wide this season. I think it's going to be tight races like that throughout.
Definitely. I think if there's any division really that's not going to have at least that's not going to have a three-way race, and I would think against it probably be the Pacific. I could be wrong. They probably will, but I think they're the least likely to.
Yep.
How do you guys feel about that?
Yeah.
The Central again's going to be uh, a tough race. I mean, because I mean, you get
Seattle stepping up. They're just going to kind of, and Winnipeg still being there. I mean, there's pretty much a four-way race there. So Chicago is surprising people. Dallas still having the same core last season.
they've kept everything together and intact there, drafted well. Um, I know I did.
First round pick. They traded. They took a photo in the first round. I don't remember who they moved him for, but
They took
they got someone
into Colorado. They moved into Colorado. Um, but yeah, just that new management in Colorado. I don't have any details on Colorado.
Yep.
I don't know many of those guys over there. It's new management, but from what I have heard, they're top-notch NHL players. Uh, they're gonna compete in the Central Division just like we did last season. So it's gonna be Winnipeg, Dallas, Colorado, Seattle, with uh, St. Louis stepping up their game for sure. It's gonna be another tight race in the Central, but I do agree with you. I think that the Pacific Division will probably be not as yeah, it won't be as tight, I believe, but it's still early to yeah, it's still early to tell because it's only 14. But um, as of right now, from what I see, that um, like San Jose is 4-0, Vegas is 0. I mean, they only have like their one game put in, same like Calgary, but it's like I said, it's still hard to tell 4 games in, but you never know who's going to surprise and who's going to
Yeah, for
fall
sure.
apart. But like you were saying, I'd say the Pacific. I do agree with you. The Pacific will be one of the divisions that is not so congested point wise and like race wise. But yeah, I think the other three is going to be pretty tight from
I think it'll come down to game. I think that we're only playing 80 again this year, so
yeah
I think
from
it'll be a game.
game 1 to game 80 or however many we're playing. I'd say the East, the Atlantic, the Metro, and the Central is going to be pretty tight throughout.
Yeah.
And then I guess the only division we've really missed so far is the Atlantic.
The
I
Atlantic,
think
yeah,
in a three-way head-to-head to that division with
for sure.
Ottawa, Montreal, and Buffalo.
Buffalo.
The I don't I don't I wouldn't yeah I wouldn't sleep on Toronto after the way they played us there on Tuesday, but as of right now, it is looking like there's like a 3-team race in that division right now. Ottawa, Montreal, Buffalo. I'd say Buffalo could end up on top just because with the moves they made in the offseason and being in the draft and stuff like that. But you can't really count anybody out in that.
They're three really even teams. They all have their own superstars, and I think definitely like if you had them play each other, it'd be pretty split. I feel like any series between either of those three teams would just probably go to 7.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the season, as I think most of you guys are as well.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
looking forward to it as well. It's going to be a good season. It's my second season as GM, so I'm hoping to have a good season in Columbus. But um, it's going to be tight for sure. But I know that this whole league's uh, being competitive as it is. It's going to be you're going to see a lot of guys that like for point races, like personal, like for player stats and stuff like that. You're going to see a lot of guys that are gonna there's going to be some high scorers in there, and like it's just going to be I don't know like you won't see another like Street Smurf point total from last year.
yeah,
You won't see like 200 and some points like that. Yeah, I don't think you'll see that again in FB, but you never know because the NHL 19 gameplay, as much as I hate to say it, because how much the game has decreased, I think, because of all the dressing room errors and stuff like that. But the gameplay has improved a lot, like the movements and stuff. You will see a lot more. You will see a lot more scoring, I believe, in the league, and
yeah,
you'll see a lot more guys that have over 100 points in the season.
Yeah, I've noticed where like a lot of leagues where it's you always look to see those top guys are scoring 100 points, but at least lately it's almost like those guys were getting up and over 150, sometimes even 200.
Yeah,
yeah,
and like for
It's getting pretty hard.
myself speaking, I mean the first full NHL season I played in Tampa in season 4, uh, the top line in Tampa Bay was myself, Dylan, and Justin, and we each had over 100 and like 70 points each, and we were like the top 5 consisted of 3 of the Tampa Bay Lightning players, just because uh, we all played together and we all racked up the points that season. But then season 5, going to Colorado, I didn't. I still had over 100 points, but I didn't even crack like the top 20 in points because there's so much talent in the league now that had over 100 plus points that I didn't even
Yeah, I
crack
mean,
the top 20. So I mean, you do have
Reno was number one. I think he 263 or something like that. Something crazy.
yeah. So I mean, you're getting a lot of talent back in this league that's going to have over 100 points for sure. But it's like I was saying, that was 18. This is 19. I just feel like that it's going to have a lot more scoring in it. You're
yeah,
gonna, but I don't think you're going to see. Yeah, I don't think you're going to see Street Smurf numbers like you did last season. But I'd say you'll see some close numbers to
Make
it.
it 100-point seasons again.
Yeah.
yeah. No, for sure. Um, I think we've reached pretty much everything there is to talk about. Um, Again, thanks for coming aboard, Rochi. It's always a pleasure being in a party with
Thanks
you.
for having me, guys. It's the first podcast I've ever done, so I mean, it's good to talk about something like this. It's something I put a lot of time into the past couple of years, and
Oh yeah,
I mean,
for
it's
sure.
good to help out and talk about some stuff like that. If you ever guys need somebody to come on again, I'd more than welcome come on and talk about
That'd be
some
great.
stats.
Yeah, for sure. We're once again every Wednesday we should have a podcast. We'll let you guys know if there is one. Not really sure on a time, as pretty busy with other leagues and life as well. So um, we'll let you guys know. Other than that, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.
Go Blue Jackets.